Hello and welcome to the God is a Geek podcast, episode 469. My name's Adam Cook and I am joined here with one person, which will soon become two people. But first of all, we should have just introduced the one person. This is complicated enough. Adam Carroll, how are you? Are you all right, mate?
Adam Cook, I'm good. Professional Xbox player right now. That's just the way I
Yeah.
roll.
Yes, it's been a week. Well, a week and a bit for you, I think. It's been interesting.
Jumped into this little camp.
Well, I should just say that if you're watching live, Chris White will be with us shortly. That's the wonder of modern technology. If you're not watching this
great.
live or listening live, we can just add people. We could do a call-in show ad.
We can do what we want.
I can create a little room and people can call in. I can add them to the podcast. They can be rude to us. And one day we'll perhaps do that. But it's not this day. Not this day. Instead, we're going to talk about video games. And it's handy that you are here, because otherwise I'd be just talking about Xbox stuff on my own. Because you have joined the next generation, I believe, of Xbox.
Of Xbox, yeah. It's been a good few days. It's been a good few days of games. Like, all right, obviously with the Xbox One ahead, but like just
it's not next gen, is it?
Not next gen, no. But the whole Game Pass experience and all that shit, This now, jumping in, look, let's get into it. Halo Infinite, Forza, we've bits to talk
I
about.
want to start before then, because I don't think this is unfair to say. Okay, I see you as probably more of a Nintendo guy, and maybe even a PlayStation guy. I never think of you, and I know you did love the 360, and I know you love your Gears of War, but more recently, I guess, more in the sort of last couple of generations, I would say, I've seen you more as a PlayStation Switch player and less so Xbox. But you now do have that Series S, and well, how does it feel? How does it feel to
It feels wonderful.
Family?
I way prefer the size of that console to my PlayStation.
So even though it's been out a year, right? When you opened the box, how taken aback were you?
I laughed. I laughed straight away because
it's mad.
It was like my girlfriend was there both times for like when I got the PlayStation and the Xbox, and when the PlayStation 5 came into the house, and she was just like, "Oh Jesus, where's that going?
Where's that going?"
I was just like, "Well, it's going somewhere because I'm going to have a great time with it, and that's that."
I've just spent 500 quid on it. It's going somewhere.
Yeah, and then the Xbox comes around. She's like, "Well, that's a bit better," and I was like, "Yeah, kind of is." Look, there's like, going to the Game Pass thing, it's all like, oh, what do I want to play? There's so much here.
I was going to say, what's that like because you haven't experienced that either, have you, until now? And you just load up the store and it's like, oh my God.
Like,
yeah, but now they've kind of hit their stride a bit more, and there's big blockbusters and indie games, and you must have just been like, oh, frozen almost with like, what?
Especially with us going into Game of the Year now, I'm just like, oh shit, I have so much to catch up with, and then this is happening. But obviously, like, look, where do we want to start? Halo? Forza?
Totally up to you, man. I would say probably Forza, because when Chris joins us, he's played some Halo as well. So maybe, whereas he reviewed Forza. So
yeah, so going into that one, look, I've played 3 and 4. Fair chunk of them. A fair chunk of them. And, like, look, there's no denying it. They're great fun. They're probably, for me personally, the kind of style of racing game that I would, of that nature anyway, that I would definitely spend the most time on. It has, we discussed all this last week. It has the right level of balance for someone who, like me, who would just love to play Mario Kart, or, you got the Gran Turismo heads and whatever, all those kind of people. So I was like, I have to go straight into this, because this is only, how long is 5 out now? Only about a week, 2 weeks?
It's one of those weird ones, because you could pay to get it earlier, if that makes sense.
Okay, all right. Well, not long anyway, really. Like, it's still fresh for a lot of people. So I was just going straight in for that one. Look, the reviews have been amazing. I think that was no surprise. This game it's just the business. It's the cat's pajamas. It has all the crack to be had. Like, we jumped online together, and like I was with you and Chris, and I was like, so what way does this work? What way do we do this? And it was like, do the convoy thing, get in, and off we go racing. You were laughing so much because you just think I'm an absolute insane human driving.
You've got a strange racing style. I don't know if there was, because we did have, like, I will say the servers are still having a little bit of trouble, I think. Not
Yeah,
enough to be like, oh god,
Well,
this
I would
game,
say
but a
the
little
still with the
bit.
challenges. So
Yeah.
the season, I still don't get it. Like I am
So
someone.
apparently that's live now. Like the store is live now and everything. I haven't checked 'cause I haven't played for a few days, but apparently
Because I've
that's
been
all.
definitely like doing them, and I'm like, why aren't these being ticked off? And like, there's that for getting the points. There's like the one of the cars is the DeLorean and stuff.
Yes,
But
yeah.
I think no, that's gone, or I don't know if it's
Oh,
gone. But it was like,
there you go. It was there pre-release, then it went,
right.
and I saw it was back a few days ago, and I'm guessing now then it's gone again. But yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
essentially what the I don't know why they don't describe it this way. It's basically a battle pass. It's essentially so you got all your other stuff in the game. You're leveling up, your wheel spins, all that stuff is all that stuff. That FP is like a battle pass, the seasonal battle pass, and you do challenges to get points to be able to buy stuff from the battle pass store. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
And it's all right, but,
So here's the thing, right? The game is amazing to look at. I think like it's just incredible the level of speed you can get in this game with all these different cars. But like, and there's so much to do. There's so much to do in the game, right? Tell me if you agree here. Is there just a bit too much?
The only negative I think I can come up with for this entire game is that I feel if Ubisoft had made this game, people would be complaining about that map. Because I think the fact it's not them, I think means that they sometimes get a bit more shit for that than others. But that map is, I had to use the filters to like be able to find you and Chris, because otherwise I would never have found you because the map's so busy that it's it's impossible to do so.
But this is the thing, like the map is so busy, which is look, it can be a complaint, it can be a pro, like whoever, like like it's just there's so much going on, there's so much being unlocked that sometimes I'm just like I don't know what's happening. Like I genuinely
no. That's fair.
Like,
I found it
like,
easier to segment. I mean, it's a bit different because when I was playing it pre-release, I was playing it with guides in mind, so I was trying to search out certain things. Then when it was out, I was realizing, well, I just want to do some stuff for me, and that was like, so I wanted to get all the roads cleared off, checked off, and then I wanted to get all the boards, and now I'm just doing races with you guys, and I think you have to either play it like that and segment it of what do I want to achieve, because it's such a big world with so much to do. Otherwise, you realize 2 hours later, I've done nothing. I've just been, and that's fine. Because if that's how you want to spend your time, just chilling and doing nothing, listening to the awesome soundtrack, that's cool as well. But I found I had to segment things off or totally accept that I was getting nothing achieved in that moment and I was just going to mess around. And it's a fine game for that as well. It's a great game to just chat and chill.
How much time, I want to know, if even any time, have you spent on the tuning of your car?
None. Oh, well, I did it once or twice, just so I could see what it was, but none.
Like I went in and I went,
it's not for me.
Don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
No, I don't know what I'm doing, and I kind of don't want to get into that. If I wanted to get into that level of stuff, I would play the Forza Motorsport games more.
But this is it. But then I feel like, is this a kind of a thing that if I did know this a bit more, obviously you just go in and learn what's going on, but like, how much would it benefit you in your racing? Because I don't think I do too bad.
So I can answer that question, right? And the reason I can answer that is because I discovered in my quest to get all the XP and fast travel boards in the game that as of right now, there is one you cannot get. And the reason you can't get it is because it's in the middle of a big lake. So I was driving around thinking, well, maybe if I can... Sometimes in the cars, you almost skim across the lake, you're going so fast. No, if you go so far, you just... It puts you back on the shore. And I was like, this is really odd because it's definitely there.
Yeah,
I can't get it. There's no, and I tried jumping off of rocks and mountains and stuff. There's no jump here that's obvious. And so I went online and I wish I'd written this guide, but the truth of it is when in a certain season the lake dries out. Okay, so the actual map changes and the lake dries out, and there are there's 2 bumps you can use to get this board. Okay, and unfortunately I can't do that right now because is it summer in the game I think it's wet weather in the game. So it's like,
it seems to be a lot of wet weather going on there.
Yeah, so you can't the lake's not dried out is what I'm saying. So I looked online and I found someone had managed to get this board without being in the correct season, and it involved going in a certain car and hitting a certain angle, and then he just lucked into a roll spin that he just clipped. It was pure. It was. I see the angle for the jump, but actually hitting the board, it was just pure luck. But he'd done it with a car that he had tuned a certain way. And you can share that code, which you can then just put that code in to tune your car the same. So I can see the benefit for it there. Am I going to do it? Absolutely no chance. I will wait a couple of weeks till it's dry, and then I will just walk around. I mean, it's weird. It's unlocked the achievement already for me, which suggests it knows you've got all the ones you can get right now.
Right. Okay.
But I still know it's there.
It's also a game that never wants to put you down. That game is constantly going, you're doing you are just destroying the environment. Well done, you are tearing into trees. Brilliant. Excellent. We love that. Keep it up. And it's like XP is going crazy. I don't know, there's something to be said about designing this kind of a game of that scope, but then constantly making you feel like you're just doing it right. You're just doing something right, and I just I know some people are criticizing the voice acting and stuff, it is.
I wonder what you thought of that. What do you? Because I don't mind it actually.
I don't care. I'm not playing that goddamn game for voice acting.
If you played any of Riders Republic at all, even the betas.
No, but I actually kind of want to. That looks
fun. That's got voices in it where it's the game's good. The voices are it's imagine what you're hearing in Forza, but take it 100 times worse, harder, faster.
But isn't it just a given for this kind of game though?
This is the thing. I don't mind it in Forza because it's kind of well, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to be having this kind of serious conversation about a video game like we are over the radio as you're driving around Mexico? You'd be sat there going, what? Wouldn't you? You would be really confused.
Do you want it to sound like the crew from Fast and the Furious or something like that?
But they kind of, aren't they? A bit, kind of? I don't know what people want from that. I don't know what... Or do they not want it at all? But then, I mean... I don't...
It's a weird thing to kind of go on about, considering the level of stuff and challenges and tasks and things you unlock and the wheel spins, and you're just I'm not a car fanatic, but I imagine if you are a car nut.
Oh, mate.
You surely are looking at this game going, I've quit my job, I've got a divorce, this is just my life.
The only time I think that doesn't work, I don't know if you've noticed this, or this might be because I'm playing in the performance mode. If you flip your car, the bottom of the car looks almost like a flat surface with a couple of lines on it. They haven't gone into any detail there. And now I get that, because how many times do you see the bottom of your car?
7 out of 10.
Well, no, but I did think it was odd because in this game you do quite a lot of jumps and flips and stuff, and it seems like the one area that's been under, or maybe that's what sports cars do look like. I don't know. I don't know. I'm with you. I forget if I said this on the pod or just when we were playing and chatting. It reminds me of Super Mario Odyssey in one of those games that is just joyful. There's no negative. There's no negative enforcement here at all. It is all positive. It is just pure, unadulterated, sugary joy. It just wants you to have fun. It doesn't care about anything else but saying it's almost like they've gone, we know people have got shit in their lives, but this is not that. This is for you to come and forget that shit and just have a bit of fun and be happy for a moment.
Do you know what I was wondering? I don't know if it could be in the game. I don't think it is though. Do they have any mode for I don't know, chasing after it or tag or something? Do you know? Is there anything like that? Because it's prime for something like that.
Well, there's a battle royale in there. Have you seen that battle royale, the Eliminator? No. So in the battle royale, they drop you. So you go to the area where it is, and it drops. I forget how many cars. It's probably 100, but I think when I played it wasn't. But pre-release, so don't quote me. Drops you in there, and it drops you into a section of the map, and there is the thing slowly draws in on you. The map does slowly come in on you. What happens is if you say if we were racing around in this battle royale mode, if I see you, sometimes when you get close to someone, you can press a button for action.
Yeah.
If I honk my horn at you, we are suddenly thrown into a kind of versus race, and it will put something on the map, a bit like those trail finders, and it's right, now you are now racing that person to that line, and if you go there last, you're out. And that's
that's cool.
But also, it's got gun game in there as well. It's got they do card. You'll start in a I think it's a Beetle, and you start together, but they drop cars, so you can go and collect the cars to get quicker, like if you're getting a better gun, you know?
I feel like like something like, I think, what is it? Is it Most Wanted or Hot Pursuit? The Need for Speed ones did that. I think Smuggler's Run might have done something like that. Someone is after the other person and you are tearing through this environment, and I think that would be a lot of fun if it got. It's simple to do, but there's still tons of like the modes and challenges that I still must get through. I just get so distracted with like, oh, there's something I'll just go over to, and you just do it, and you're like, great, and it just keeps opening up the things like the jump challenges and all that kind of stuff at the moment. Like, I'm just loving them. They're just really fun, especially when you see someone on your friend list has gotten like 30 meters or something ahead of you. You're like, oh, I'm gonna have to do that again. If I'm only 30 meters away, I've got to do it again. It's a super game.
It is, and this perfect timing though, because we're about to move on to Halo Infinite, and we can now introduce joining us slightly later, a Superman, Christopher White. Hello, Chris. All right. He's muted. It's not a bad start. He's muted. When he's still muted. He's shaking his head and shrugging his shoulders. So we're going to start talking about Halo Infinite until we hear his voice in our ears, and you'll know he's here. Look, as well as Xbox, Halo Infinite, go on.
Xbox Pro, anyway, as I said, right? I'm just going to say right now, right? I've been on this pod numerous times, and Halo has come up in discussion. I've been like, this prick, Mr. Chief,
John Halo.
John Halo.
Hello, Chris. Chris is here now.
That
we can hear him.
Fuck me.
Fucking me.
Halo.
Hello.
This is the fun of live podcasting.
Smooth transitioning.
There will be no editing done to this. This is just going in, as she said. We're talking about Halo Infinite. We've just started talking about Halo Infinite, and Adam was saying how he hates Halo, right, Adam?
Well, hang on a sec. No, I was getting to that, right? I wouldn't say I ever said hate. I definitely was always like, I just don't care. Because, like, I remember playing the first game back then and being like, yeah, it's pretty cool, but, cool, whatever. And you get a load of games that come out, and then you're just like, I'm never going to get through this. This is just what it is, whatever, fine. And then, obviously, Infinite comes out with its multiplayer business. And I was like, all right, give it a download, being with the cool gang and just try it out and stuff like that. And lads, here we go. What happened? Played Halo Infinite. We'll get onto it, but I really enjoyed it. And what did I do? I went straight off to Game Pass and got the Master Chief Collection, downloaded that baby, and then just like started playing like the first 3 hours of the first Halo again last night. Kind of had my mind blown a small bit because I was like, what was wrong with my head? Because I was totally into just the music. And I was totally into what was going on. I'm like, I'm here for this Halo right now. I mean, I'm putting my hands up saying I was wrong for all the eye rolling I did. But look, Infinite was great. It's been great. I've been thoroughly enjoying it. I think we all have been. Like
I literally, I've said this to 3 different people now, and I think the most overriding feeling I have with Infinite multiplayer is that when I played it, I didn't realize how much I had missed Halo multiplayer, because when you think about multiplayer games, not all of them, but they've all got similarities. You have to go to a Titanfall to find something different, but even then, that is Modern Warfare's multiplayer with this on it. Whereas Halo has and always will probably feel quite different to everything else, because it is. You don't aim down sights, you don't. And I just started playing it, and it was like, I really forgot how fun this was. And when you look back, it has been like 5-6 years since a new Halo game.
So this was the thing, like, going into it, I was kind of like, I know I'm going to be terrible at this, and I'm just not a good like online shooter player. I'm just not at all. And I was like, there's going to be so many Halo pros now straight into this and just hammering me. But then, like, when I realized, it's actually not that type of...
No, if people are playing it properly... Oh, God.
It just looks hilarious at times. There's so much carnage going on. Like, grenades are going everywhere. Like, it feels like everyone does get a chance. And yes. I always remember the last online shooter game I played that I felt that way about, last 2 actually, would have been when Overwatch came out first, and probably Apex Legends. I played both of them when they both came out, and I felt like I was kind of like doing okay. And I was like, all right. With Infinite, I was like, all right, I'm dead. Oh, kill that guy. You know, that flow was happening. And then last night I jumped on myself and I played this like round of like, I can't remember exactly what they call the capture the flag modes. Stronghold, I think maybe. I don't know. But I did one of them.
Different ones, but yeah.
Did that anyway. And one of the lads on my team got the flag and I escorted him the whole way to the end. Survived the whole way, was taking out all these lads. And I felt amazing. And I totally get when those things work. I know it sounds like a lot of people are probably listening to me now going, yeah, that's what the purpose of these games are. But this is just my experience, and it was just banging. And I'm like, Chris, have you been playing much of this at all by any chance?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, baby.
So, like, I completely agree with the sentiments here. I think, I didn't play the multiplayer for 4 or 5. Like, I'd not played any of it. But 3 was like, and 2, I mean, 3 especially, I was on that multiplayer all the time. But it was
2
back
was the
when...
one people talk about as...
Yes,
because it was like the first wasn't it the first like Xbox Live?
Yes, yeah. So like the 3 was around the time when like I was playing Modern Warfare 2 and first-person shooters online were like, that was my bag. So Halo 3 I spent a lot of time with. And then I came away, and then this was the first proper time I've spent with a Halo multiplayer. And it's like weird muscle memory.
Yes.
Like but it's not just like in terms of playing it, it's the modes they come flooding back and the tactics and just everything about it. Just it makes me so happy. I'm so full of joy playing this online because, like you said as well, it's like it's so different to other first-person shooters online. It's like you go on. Like I went from, I'm shooting about a bit, but I went from Infinite, playing that for a few hours, to checking out Battlefield for the first time. And just, I had so much more fun with Infinite. Like, I think you do have a chance. There's definite skill levels involved. But it's very much like open to every ability. So there's always a role for you, depending on whatever mode you play. There's always a particular role. Like you've got your Slayer, where it's just your typical deathmatch, Oddball, which is one of the coolest, and Capture the Flag in like the kind of smaller maps, and then you've got like the big battles as well, which are also a lot of fun.
The big battles are great fun, aren't they? They are.
Yeah.
But they're not like Battlefield. It's interesting you mentioned Battlefield, because Battlefield, I found I just spend my time wandering around this massive environment.
Oh my God.
And then I've been killed by someone who's far better at the game. Whereas in Halo, it's big. I mean, it's called Big Team Battle, but it's not that size. It's kind of like, it reminds me of how Battlefield used to, well, I mean, it's what Halo used to feel like, but it also reminds me of that.
Yeah,
I can't think of a moment playing this so far where I haven't had fun. Even when I had a round the other day where I was bottom of the table, absolutely useless, and I still was like, that was all right though, wasn't it? I enjoyed that. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, because you're rewarded for much more than just killing. You know.
Well, we should talk about the rewards.
I don't know. Talk about the rewards.
Do we want to talk? Because I'm hesitant to dive deep into the Battle Pass stuff because at the time of recording they've just announced they're changing it. But so far they've announced this week
giving you XP, Chris.
Yeah, they're giving it so you know how there's the challenge for like finish a match 100 XP. That's going to be every match. So it won't be a case of so there will never be a match where you'll get nothing.
Was that a bug, though? Can I just say that? Was that not a bug?
No.
But
what was
did
intentional?
They actually intend to
They
do
intended
that.
That was so when.
Cool.
I know, but that to me, it's a good sign of intent. And let's face it, the feedback's been harsh because I will say that I've heard no one say they don't enjoy the video game aspect of it. And I think when you have to almost stop yourself and go, remember this is free to play. Because that's when you go, it really is free to play. But they have said they're going to make it so that every single match, one of the challenges will be finish a match. I do think in the long term it's a bit crap. Because it's like, I finished a match. Like as we speak, and by Monday when this is live to everyone, this could have even changed. As we speak, getting the best kills in a match means nothing. There was one I saw, I think it was a tweet or someone on Reddit said that they basically played a match of Oddball. And by the end of the game, they had 3 minutes of holding time of the ball, got 0
Wow.
XP, 0 XP
What?
because it wasn't a match.
brutal.
They didn't complete any challenge because it's only challenge based. So unless you, and this is the thing, and
Yeah,
what I've
that's
seen,
true.
the most feedback I've seen, that the worrying most is that what it's actually doing is it's stopping people playing the objective, because the only way of getting XP is to complete the challenges. So if one of the challenges is get a kill with your pistol,
Yeah.
you spend that whole match trying to get a kill with your pistol, not holding the ball, not capturing the flag, not holding the territory. You just want that kill or 5 kills with your pistol, because that's the only way you can level up. That's concerning to me, because once you get out of the way of all the cosmetic stuff, which, look, I don't think any of us are the kind who are going to be like, oh, I need that purple helmet or anything like that. None of us are those. That, you know, I don't think any of us are in that sort of play. I would buy the battle pass to support the game.
Yeah,
but I don't care about the cosmetics.
Yeah.
Never have.
I would like the ability just to change the color or something, but I'm not asked about having
You
a
can
new
do that.
visor.
You can change the color, but and but what I am concerned about is having fun with this game, and if it is if there's anyone who is like 19 or maybe younger and is like the first time to Halo, and it may add you know, even someone like yourself, you're not that age, but you're not like a wealth of experience of Halo. The bit of advice I would give is play the objective. So if you're in a Slayer match, sure, kill everyone you see. If you're playing oddball, get the ball, or if you haven't got the ball, defend your teammate. You sacrifice yourself for the teammate to get the ball. But if there's no reward for winning a match at all, they've got a problem.
Yeah.
Quite a big problem, because
I'm sure they're going to solve.
I think they will. I think eventually this game
I
will end up with a second XP thing, like every other game where you got a character level. But I don't think they can implement that in time for December the 8th.
Because like even with all this, the amount of games that like I've played already myself, like I've played a good few on my own as well, like just with different people, obviously. But like, Jesus, I'm able to unlock nothing. Like,
nothing.
You know, there's just nothing I can get. I'm fine because I'm.
And you'll play with someone who's played 20 hours of it, and they're the same level as you.
Yeah, like we were having that discussion about.
But, what does that mean for ranked matches?
Suits.
What does that mean for competitive play? How do you define, if the three of us have played 5 hours, 15 hours, and 150 hours, but we've had bad luck with challenges, we could all be level 2 to 4 each.
Yeah.
How do you know? How do you matchmake that to be someone? Well, you don't want to play him. He's level 150. You know.
We also should be allowed to pick what mode we want to play.
That's a thing that's always been Halo. I'm not saying it's right.
I know
but
it may be a thing, but look, it's as I said, it's not. And I haven't played a mode yet that I don't like.
No, but sometimes you just fancy a bit of
oddball.
There's
ones I do absolutely love.
Yeah,
playing.
I love oddball.
If I was playing with you lads, I'd be like, oh, let's just do this one.
Yeah.
The one we all have.
I don't think they're going to change that. I think they would, but because it's free to play.
But why? What are they benefiting out of not?
It's player pool, isn't it? If you have one playlist, well, two, you got the quick match or big team battle, so let you choose between them. If you've only got those two playlists, you will ensure that whatever time you play that game, that it's populated. Now, I think they're doing Halo a disservice because Halo's still popular. Like, look at the, you know, it's a great feeling game already, but they're probably thinking further down the line. What if people drop off and go back to Fortnite, back to COD, back to Battlefield, back to Overwatch? We're going to be left with, right, he's trying to search for Slayer, he wants to play Oddball, and she wants to play Capture the Flag, and we need them all in the same pool because we're not filling matches. But then saying that, I will also say, the matches, only played one against the bots. The bots seem pretty bloody good, actually. Not in terms of, they're not beating you, but they aren't like the usual fodder. So why not?
Because I definitely jumped in first, like when I booted up first, just to kind of try it out, like in that mode of just the bots, whatever. And I was kind of like, did I fucking pick the right place? Like it felt like I was.
Yeah, I thought the same. I wasn't sure.
Jesus Christ!
Have you played the training academy bit?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah, just fucking beautiful. Like like a lovely intro video. Like there's so much effort. And it's free to play, but we're lucky. We're so fortunate to have a Halo multiplayer back. And these little things, I do think, like Adam said, they will be fixed in time. But as it is at the minute, if I go into the quick match and it's Slayer, which I prefer the others, it's not a long match, is it? So you do that,
Well,
and then
that's
hopefully
something that
you get into
surprised
another
me.
one.
When I went to cut together the B-roll that people are seeing for the video podcast, I was like, bloody hell, all these matches are 5 minutes. I captured thinking I'd captured hours, and it's like, these are 4 or 5 minutes each. I like Slayer. I like... Ad, you said you liked the Territory one. I've forgotten the name of now. The one where you have to A, B, and C zone. That's one of my
I like
least
them in
favorites.
any of those kind of shooters. They're fucking great.
But I like Oddball and Big Team Battle, and I just love... it just feels so fresh. Maybe they made the right decision vanishing for 5-6 years, letting people play Master Chief Collection, and but this feels so fresh.
Slayer's
great fun,
definitely the mode. Slayer is definitely the mode that I laugh the most at, because like there's moments
Carnage.
you could just sit back and like go on top of a building and you just see everyone going absolutely.
Didn't we have a Slayer Big Team Battle as well?
Yeah,
I think we did. Yeah, and that was I mean, and that's the other thing is the vehicles in this game are just fun. All of them are like uniquely fun in a weird way, and like the hilarity that ensues. Like I remember, I was absolutely cursing up a storm that night because I was about to kill someone, and then one of my teammates just drove through both of us and got the kill. And it's like, look, I'm not fussed about getting the kill, but you don't have to wipe me out en route, do you? You know, it's like he just drove through us with a ghost.
Yeah.
But it's really made me. I can't wait for the full thing. Like the campaign, if they've done what I think they've done with it. I've heard online bits and pieces about the potential that there's like some stuff that unlocks, like in the single player, like some challenges that will unlock stuff in them. That I mean, I genuinely wouldn't be shocked if one day when this goes live, there's been more changes to that battle pass, because it's still nowhere near where it needs to be, and they don't seem stupid.
No. I would quite happily pay for that when it's fixed a bit.
Yes,
because at the minute I don't want it. But I do want it, but I don't, because it's pointless. It's pointless paying out the money when I'm not going to get the levels if I don't manage to pass the challenges.
Yeah. I mean, the standard usually is that within your first 2 games, you'll have at least leveled up once. In every game. Like, that first level bar is like 100 XP almost. And that's not the case. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to moan about it, because I do want to just celebrate how much fun the gameplay is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And like Nicola, obviously used to be on the pod with us. She was telling a story about how she it's not my story to tell, but it was like a story that she messaged someone they used to play with years ago just to see what would happen, and they ended up spending the night playing Halo with all their mates. And it's like, that's what this is. It's the same Forza for me. It's one of these where it's like it brings you together a little bit. I don't want to sort of jump away. Is there anything else Xbox wise you want to mention before we, or anything add before we move on to Mr. White?
Not well. It actually one of them is part of what Chris will be talking about as well. So
okay.
I don't know what order we're going in, but I did. So
let's talk about Grand Theft Auto, because I haven't played any of these, and I sort of want to hear about them. I think.
Yeah. So I'll just say before Chris goes on, because
go for it.
I only played San Andreas because that's on Game Pass, obviously, and I don't understand why it's only that one. Did I miss something there, or is it just like the way the deal is that they're only just giving that one out there? Do you know? But
no, that is it.
Fuck. I said, fuck it, let's go. Let's try this out, man. Like, look, we all have our memories of these games. I feel like, I vividly remember the buzz surrounding that game, and it's kind of like, I can't say I ever wanted this version or a definitive edition. Let's say I didn't need it. If I felt like I just want to play those games of the PS2 version, perfectly fine for me. Now I hear worse reports. Chris can obviously confirm this, but like I heard worse reports regarding 3. I think overall, but my experience with San Andreas is like the changes are pretty minor, if I'm honest, and there's more errors, and I think a lot of people who are listening now know this, because a lot of people are extremely vocal about it, and this is what sucks, is that like these games are so loved, they were so popular, they're such an important staple in the video game world, that for them to come out as the definitive edition and be absolutely not the definitive edition.
Yeah.
And the fact it was let go ahead this way it's a real fucking shame. Like, but San Andreas so far it's been fine. It's made, like, there's a lot of times I'm like, oh god, I remember this moment and that moment. The biggest issue for me is that game is so dark. Like, I can't see shit. Like, I honestly can't. Like, the opening scene, like when CJ comes out of the airport and the gang come up, whatever, and start going at him, whatever. You can't see their faces, like, at all. I was like, what the fuck's going on? And I was like upping the brightness and stuff, and it's still really poor. Like, all the face models and stuff are shocking. Like, not shocking, but just weird. They're just weird looking. Very clay looking and stuff. Now, Chris, I suppose you can take off from there, really, regarding 3 in Vice City. And tell me if it's, like, worse.
Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised that it was announced last month. Was it announced October? It wasn't like it was recently, wasn't it?
From what I understand, it looks like they had their hand forced because it was like the worst kept secret, wasn't it? People just kept leaking, and eventually they were
like, it's dark throughout. The lighting is poor throughout, and I think there's just little things that shouldn't even exist that are like the audio in San Andreas, for example. It's muffled, like how, and then there's if you have the subtitles on, there's like it's like pixelation appears underneath the subtitles, as if they've been repeated twice, but this one's all fuzzed out. It's really weird. And then, like you say, a lot of the character animations, where once they were kind of quirky and weird, like now they just look like monsters. Like, there's some really awful animation. CJ looks horrendous.
Oh, man. He looks
Tommy
terrible.
Vercetti looks awful as well. Like, it's just a lot wrong with it. That like, you could go and get the other ones that came out a few years ago that have just been ported. Just play them. Because you'll get a better experience out of them than these enhancements. And calling it definitive is really poor. Like, there are some additions that do make things a little bit easier, like the weapon wheel, which is fine, and like controlling the cars with the trigger buttons as opposed to like cross and whatever it was back in the day. There's too much. It's not poorly made, but there's like no love or attention or care.
But this is the thing. I think it's so bang out of order.
Yeah,
to be charging the price that they are for this.
Sounds like a cash grab.
Knowing full fucking well that people like me, who I'm a sucker for all this kind of stuff, but I'm just like, love that series.
Do you know?
I'm getting it.
Do you know what really? I haven't played it. I've got it downloaded, and I'm now after everything I've heard, I'm like, I probably use my time more wisely.
Yeah.
But the thing I noted when I downloaded it was that it downloaded 3 different games, and I thought to myself, even Mass Effect had a launcher. And when you're able to say EA did a better remaster, EA cashed in on their franchise trilogy in a better way than you did. I think you have to have a word with yourself. And that sounds like I'm being really mean to EA, and that's not what I mean at all. I'm just saying, historically, people love to shit on EA. But you have got a very similar situation here. 3 beloved titles in a beloved franchise. One of them you feel was done right by with all the correct modernizations and like one launcher to play the games with continuous progress. And I know they were separate games, but so were Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. Added in all the DLC, and then you've got GTA, which just downloads 3 separate tiles on my PlayStation. Did you get a chance to try the Switch version, Chris?
No.
Did you download the Switch version?
I downloaded the Switch version.
Did it do the same thing? It's 3
separate games on the Switch.
That's not a...
There's a part to me, I just want to say that quickly, there's a part to me where I feel like this kind of thing makes me wish that patches didn't exist, because I think with the build... But listen to me, all right. With the build up that, well, not the build up, but like knowing full well that people were going to go for this, they were excited. It was enough time has gone by to go back on it and stuff. And then they've all these like quality of life improvements, and referencing GTA 5's kind of control scheme is going to be
which really does not exist.
All that kind of stuff,
really
right? You're kind of going,
exist.
Cool. This all sounds great, whatever, right? I think it's unfair for them to do this. Pretty much lie about it and then put out this piece of diarrhea, and then what's going to happen is everyone gives their fucking 2 cents and goes, I'm annoyed, I paid 60 quid, blah blah blah, I paid £50 and all this kind of stuff, and then they're just going to go, we'll patch it, don't worry. And then they'll patch it, and then people will start going, oh, it's actually a bit better. And then we just forgive and forget. I think this kind of thing has to kind of
Well,
piss
you
off.
say that, but that didn't happen with Andromeda. Just to Mass Effect it up a bit more.
That's true.
I've heard nothing but people saying,
but it gives
actually, if you go back, that game's really good now. But no one ever seems to do it.
I just feel it gives people a chance to kind of fix something that they promised, and it just
no, you're 100% right, mate. Because back in the day when we were playing these games on PS2, if there was a problem, there was a problem.
Yeah,
but why did they put it out now then? Because the financial year doesn't end until like April. They could have put it out in March or...
They could have, and it is like you said, it's a cash grab. It's lazy. They definitely could have tested this. Did you
encounter that bug? I don't know if it is a bug with the rain or something, where the rain's not.
The rain is ridiculous.
Is it really?
It's outrageous.
So that's not a bug. That's not a bug.
You can't see anything. No,
it's not transparent. It's solid.
It's just horrendous. Like visually, like when it's raining, it's good luck.
I don't get how that
good
happens.
Luck driving in that. But I think like people aren't naive to when they announced it, it's Rockstar. These were put out GTA 5 recently and Red Dead recently. But this is a big developer who have got a track record for releasing sound, wonderful games. So why would anyone go, these are going to be shit? Like CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk. No one doubted them because of The Witcher.
That was going to be that way. Yeah.
And then look at them. And then yes, these are
still
old games. So it's not like GTA 6 where it's been released and it's fucked. But it doesn't matter. Like people, like you said, pay all this money for it to encounter all these bugs which just aren't forgivable. It's not like a couple where in a video game where you get a bug and it's like, oh fuck's sake. But then it doesn't really. Like Guardians was rough around the edges. I was just going to say, right?
Guardians, they gave us a list of bugs that will be fixed.
But even then, it didn't ruin my enjoyment.
No, it was annoying, but it was...
They weren't consistent bugs. These are consistent bugs. The audio problems, the janky controls, especially driving, Jesus. The lighting, it's so dark, the rain. There's all the random shit that happens. There's someone, everyone's got something different. You look at the memes or you look at Twitter or whatever, it's this hub of complaints about it, and it's fair game because they really are poor. It just shouldn't happen.
Did you see the bug where like one of the lads is like bowling, and he throws the bowling ball down the thing,
and he dies.
He hits the pin, and it flies back and kills him.
Yeah, I've seen.
And like that's hilarious. I know, but like it's like they're releasing a physical of this game.
I'm kind of into that.
They're releasing a physical of this trilogy like next month or something as well. And I was kind of going to buy that, and I was like, yeah, me piss going to buy it now, like,
No,
it's kind of mental, and it sucks.
It's like Goat Simulator style mess ups, but they're like a small, very small studio.
Yeah. The buzz around it is now. Well, it's not now, like, but when it was coming out, this series, this definitive edition, was trending, like for days leading up to its release, and like when they start, we patched it, like no one's going to give a toss. Like everyone's like, well, I'm kind of past it now. Like if anyone's played it, they're probably like, this is shit. I'm just going to plug in the PS2 or something and play it there. Because I'm just up for it now,
Well, that's happened for a few people. I bought them on PS4, like just the old versions. They play great. Yeah. They just play like they did.
Well, anyway. Well, I mean, we like to be a quite a positive podcast when we can, but sometimes you got to say what you got to say. But Chris, can you be more positive about a game? Is another game going to let us down? What else you been up to? That's a real weird way of asking you what else you've been playing. Sorry, mate.
So.
What's going on?
Vaas Insanity.
Yes.
What a man. I'm
not sure Ubisoft know what this game's called. Because I when you handed the review in, I was like, that can't be the correct... I thought, Chris never gets that sort of stuff wrong. So when I saw the name of it, I was like, that just doesn't look right. It looks like he's forgotten to put the title in properly. And I looked it up and it's like, it is. But
I had to really research.
It's really they sent, weird.
They give us like a document, don't they? So I kind of looked through that and found it. But the game itself So I loved Far Cry 6, and I never got a chance to properly talk about it.
No,
I was
true.
off. So, like, it's a hell of a lot of fun, and I love Far Cry games anyway, even like the shitter ones. But Far Cry 6, loved it, and I feel like their post-launch plans are very interesting. Like this DLC, which I'll talk about very soon, like brilliant. The fact that they're reintroducing the main kind of villains from the, Pagan Min, Vaas Montenegro, and Joseph Seed, great. And then they're doing like Rambo and Stranger Things, and Danny Trejo's in like a mission. Like they've really kind
everything.
Yeah, but they're like they know what their market is now. But anyway, like Vast Insanity is essentially a roguelike style game in the Far Cry universe, which goes back to Rook Islands, but it's a lot weirder because Vast is an absolute psychopath. He always was.
So where's this? Isn't set on the Far Cry 6 island?
No.
I didn't know that.
It's in some weird, twisted version of Rook Islands because
that's quite cool.
It's hard. It's weird. But they've really threaded a story through this where you have to collect this silver dragon blade from different parts of the island to make your sister Citra. If anyone remembers the story of Far Cry 3, you basically, your sister is the one who helps Jason Brody, the kid who goes onto the island and
I remember Brody
gets kidnapped by Vaas.
Yep.
She ends up giving him some weird poison, some weird like hallucinogenic stuff, and then he goes and stabs Vaas at the end. But this is basically highlighting Vaas's relationship with his sister Citra.
With his sister Citra.
Jesus.
Citra, isn't that a band name?
Because he's like very much a loose cannon and his mind is all over the place. You see a lot of weird shit on this island, like sharks swimming in the air. There's like weird underwater segments and weird flashbacks and visions of all kinds of weird stuff happening. There's crocodiles made out of lava. It's just really weird.
What?
But yeah.
Sorry. Just you. What?
Yeah, you have to kill some crocodiles made out of lava.
And then you have to kill them. They're not just there. You have to actually kill them.
Oh no, they're in like one of the main memories because there's like the memories they're called, but they're essentially the missions to get the 3 parts of the blade. Okay. But what basically you start off with a pistol, and you have to kill. You start off on mind level 1 as well. Mind level 1 with a pistol.
Blimey.
And you just go off, kill people. You get cash for it, and ammo, whatnot. And the more cash you get, the more you can go and spend it at safe houses. And at the safe houses, you can buy new traits, which are like permanent traits, which do everything from give you more healing syringes, so less chance of dying. They can give you the parachute and the hang glider thing. There's loads of different ones. There's like takedown improvements, so you can like initiate a takedown when an enemy is alerted to you, not just from behind when they're not aware of you. So you could buy permanent traits. You can also take part in challenges. So like cursed chests in Diablo.
Yep.
Where you start them and then a load of enemies come at you and you have to kill them, and then that chest becomes available to unlock back at a safe house. And these chests contain a different range of guns. So they've got shotguns, machine guns, bow and arrow, grenade launcher, all these different types. So essentially, you have to try and complete the game without dying. When you die, you lose all weapons.
So it is run-based.
Yeah, and you retain your permanent traits because you've unlocked them, but everything else disappears, so you have to go back.
Oh, wow, it really is a roguelike.
However, there is a trait where you get to retain so much money after you die, so it's worth unlocking that first. So,
wow.
But basically,
sounds like Deathloop.
Yeah. Well, you say you collect all these things and you go and do the final mission and you complete it for the first time. You can then switch how difficult it becomes after that. So there are 5 mine levels. 5 is obviously absolutely ridiculously hard. 1 is it's not easy, but it's a challenge, but it's not as hard as the others. But it's a lot of fun. And I think the performance by Vaas, Michael Mando, who I've just recently started watching Better Call Saul. and he's in Better Call Saul, and I didn't realize, and he's an amazing actor, like and he was Vaas, so that was cool seeing him. But like, it's just a lot of fun, and I think it does something different with Far Cry.
Yeah,
people are kind of expecting, I don't know, if you didn't read up on it, you'd be expecting it's just like an expansion where you play as Vaas, and you do a few missions and you find out a bit about his backstory, but the gameplay loop's satisfying, the story's ridiculously fun and stupid, but also really quite like smart at times as well. So whether people will play it, I mean the season pass for me is, I would absolutely
worth it.
I would absolutely get Ubisoft season passes are some of the best around.
Yeah.
Like, they really are. They really put a lot of effort into making them good. Like Valhalla, for instance.
Yeah.
But I think the other two will be great. But this, it's definitely worth playing, and I would definitely get a season pass.
Fair enough
for it. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, I must admit I'm intrigued because I know you can run it like you don't have to have finished 6, do you? You can just start.
You only need to have done the. Because when I had to upload the save, didn't I, to cloud save?
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot you could do that with Ubisoft.
Because there's one mission you have to complete to be able to get into it, but it's very early on. It's not
I'll
like
be fine then.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
I would like to play it.
But it's assuming people will have played Far Cry 6 quite a bit anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no,
you won't buy a season pass for a game and not have played the actual game you're buying the season pass for. So
that is completely fair comment. That is fair comment.
You're weird.
Has anyone else got any other games they want to talk about, or shall we move on to some catching them all?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I played and reviewed Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. It's weird because I wasn't sure what other people would think of it, if that makes sense. I mean, I don't really care, truth be told. But like, I wasn't. It was interesting to see, like, when I had a look on Metacritic, like the reaction to this. I really like it. It was so.
Wait, what's the reaction? Is it poor?
It's kind of been. I mean, listen, I've seen 6s, I've seen 7s. I gave it a 9. I really did enjoy it. But I like the Pokemon games. And I was keen to point that out in the review, that I don't think you're going to suddenly be like, oh, this is what I've been waiting for all my life. Now I like them. It's not. It's not like a Tales of Arise situation where like someone like me didn't get on with those games and now really likes it. It's not that. This is a remake, pretty faithful, of that, Diamond and Pearl. And what they have done is they've taken some of the modernizations from the more recent games like Sword and Shield and put them into the old one. Now that bit I can see fans being like, I'm not so sure about, because it's very easy. Like, it's very easy now. Obviously you've got XP share in the modern games, where whatever happens, your Pokemon in your party are getting levels with you, even if you're not using them, as long as they're in your party. Can't turn that off, so that's a thing that's going to happen. But also, they've made it so that, how familiar are you with the Pokemon games, you guys?
Very.
Oh yeah, like I wouldn't be familiar with the actual Pokemon, but
the games.
I
can name all 8,000.
Of course you can.
Imagine.
Someone will
Special Patreon podcast. You just mentioning every Pokemon.
So you used to have to see when your Pokemon get injured in the field and you take them to the Poké Center and you heal them up and all that. That's still there. But the other thing you used to have to do is when you're at that center, that's when you can access your boxes and you can switch out. You can just do that in the field now. And the reason that makes things easier is that, say you have, let's just use a Pikachu as an example. Say you have Pikachu as one of your 6 and he faints and he's unusable, you can just swap him out. Whereas before, you'd have to go back to the Poké Center, heal him up, and then or swap him out. But you couldn't do both. So I can see people being a bit too easy, but I don't think it's not like it was hard before. It's not like you were playing that game originally going, oh, this is a bloody brutal. This is Dark Souls of the Pokemon game. It isn't. But like, it does make it a bit easier. There's still the challenge if you want it. You've got to know where to find it, like in all the Pokemon games. They've added like a bigger underground mode. The online is just way, way smoother and more like you can just play online now with your mates. Like, you haven't got to muck around so much. You can just get on with it now. And that's something... I know, again, I think I've said this before, but I feel like I say it every time it's a Nintendo game. It's amazing to be praising them for something that everyone else does, but they're getting there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just it is that game with that art style which you either like or you don't. You know, it reminds me the recent Zelda remake. It's that kind of art style, the chibi stuff.
Chibi kind of, yeah.
I like it. Others don't.
I know,
That's cool.
because I was kind of asking you about it. I was like, look, am I going to be conned here? Am I going to get caught for this again? In a sense, like, do you know, because I've dived into like every. I'm like, yeah, I'm up fucking catching those little shits. Let's go. And like, I go and buy the game, and I'm like, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm going to do.
It might be too easy for you. You might start playing and be like, this is too slow and too easy. It's not going to change your mind. I don't care what
difficulty. I think it's just it's always that opening for yours. I'm like, I know what to do. And
it does kind of have that.
I know this isn't a new game. It's a remake. It's or whatever you want to call it.
It does still do all that.
Yeah. And that's the footage I seen. I was like, oh, there you go. Look, in the lab, and they're telling you what to do, and you put your little Pokeballs into the little thing, and they fix them. And look, I understand that's just what the game is, but I think I have this sour taste in my mouth with Pokemon ever since Sword and Shield, because I went into that going, this is it. This is what I've been wanting at my age with Pokemon and where I wanted to go. And then, obviously, it wasn't what I wanted. Like, it didn't do enough for me. Like, I understand. I think I could definitely be on board with the art style, but because I'm just, I don't feel like I'm going to enjoy it as much. Do you know what I mean? I think I actually don't know what I want from Pokemon. That is my
see. This is what I think I want, because I played Sword and Shield, and it was you either like it or you don't. I thought it was all right, but I don't. I think it was almost one of those where they had more ambition than they could actually achieve, but also at the same time they didn't really actually have that much ambition at all. It kind of lacked ambition, but also had some. It's a weird game. I kind of think I'm fine with them just going, this is what we do best. This is our Pokemon game. Because they've tried to change it up and it's not worked for them. Well, again, it has to some people and it hasn't to others. With this, it's a remake, and it's not made by Game Freak. It's made by a different company. Pretty flawlessly, in terms of performance. I didn't spot any issue with it. Again, like I said about Forza, it's kind of just a nice game. Like, it really doesn't ask an awful lot of you, and it is nice having like a big screen Pokemon game that runs well and looks good. And
the Pokemon fan base is no joke. So for them, this, like any Pokemon release, is going to bring complete joy.
Oh, listen, whatever I say about this, it's going to sell millions. End of it. It doesn't matter. No,
that's it.
But I do think it's a well done remake. I can understand why hardcore fans would be like, well, we don't want XP share in this, we don't want that. But I said this sort of thing in the review. I feel like they're a little bit up shit creek, because if they didn't bother with the new art style, they would have been crucified for saying you've done nothing, no work. If they didn't add quality of life stuff, they'd have been in the GTA situation and told that they were lazy. So what do? For me, the chibi art style is kind of what you get if you take that original art style and bring it into this era. I don't know what else you get. I don't know what else you do. What should they have done with this remake? They've added the quality of life stuff. They've made the visuals better. The soundtrack's still amazing. Like, I don't know.
That's all I want.
That's what I mean. I don't know what else they could have done.
It's a remake at the end of the day. Like, people can't expect the world to change. Like, it's the same game, but they've like you said with GTA. It's a good job they didn't just do like
that's what I mean.
They spent time and took time with it and made it. I feel
people are being harsh on this when literally there is GTA staring at you, going, "That's what it looks like for a cash grab."
Yeah.
Like, this feels like they've actually taken the time and made it, good. And it was always, I don't know. It feels faithful, and like I said, it makes it feel essential again, because it was one of my favourite ones. I think a lot of people feel that way about Gen 4 or Gen 5. I can't bloody remember now. But that era of Pokemon. I'd be interested to see what Arceus looks like. I really will, because that's going to be another 3D, like Sword and Shield, and I really, really would be concerned if they make the same mistakes twice. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's about all I've got this week. We can move on to one question we got sent in earlier, and I forgot to ask the chat. So, listen to correspondence. Politica says, "What's your favourite sausage?"
I love sausages.
Well, you're vegetarian, aren't you? Or are you not anymore?
No, I am.
Okay,
but you know, we can eat sausages too.
Yeah, but they're not real, are they?
That are made. Let's not get into that conversation, eh? Do you know, I've had some sausages back in the day.
I know this isn't
normal
fork
ones.
off, but I'm just saying.
A chorizo sausage. Or a sausage with apple in it.
I was going to say chorizo.
There you go. See?
You definitely can't eat chorizo. Is there a vegetarian chorizo?
There is actually, but it's just more the flavour. There's more flavour.
I saw a huge beef chorizo sausage in Sainsbury's, and I didn't know that existed.
How big was it?
No.
It was not. Stop.
It was absolutely alarmingly
Why
big.
did you buy it and put it in your mouth?
I don't really fancy the sound of beef chorizo. I just like chorizo. What is chorizo made of? I guess pork.
Of it. What?
Now I always just think of chorizo as chorizo, but it probably is pork, isn't it?
Yeah. Chris, what about you?
Yeah, what's your favourite sausage, Chris?
I like Cumberland or a Brockwurst.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You
They're
like
good as
them?
well, actually.
You like the bratwurst?
Yeah,
Me?
why?
Yeah, Adam
Oh,
Carroll.
you?
Yeah.
But they're hot dogs, essentially. Big hot dogs.
Yeah, but they're better. Hot dogs. Those hot dogs we discuss all the time. We've been through this.
They've got that snap you're talking about.
They don't have that snap. It's a different snap. Different snap sounds.
In my opinion, we need to bring back Fork Off and talk about... Is it Bockwurst or Bratwurst?
Snaps.
No, because we never did hot dogs, I don't think. I think that was on the previous incarnation.
You don't need to do hot dogs.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I think we need to see where that ranks, so we're going to have to bring it back, I think. That's the only thing to, that's the only way to do it, isn't it?
Yes.
I'd love to rank sausages.
Maybe we do an all-sausage special,
sausages.
bring that podcast back. The only way you'll hear that podcast, should it ever happen, is to go to patreon.com/GodIsAGeek and pay the $5 tier to get the extra podcast. That's a premium thing. So should that ever...
We'll also post you out a favourite sausage of ours. Out of its packet. In an envelope.
Why not? So what was your absolute favourite, Chris? If you're all right there, mate.
Sorry. Bratwurst.
Okay. Is it because is a Bockwurst a Bratwurst? Is it the same thing, or are they different variations of the same thing? Because when I used to go to Germany, I remember it being a Bratwurst, but I've heard Bockwurst as well. I mean, Wurst means sausage, doesn't it? So Brat and Bock must mean.
He must have loved you over there, I'd say, when you were saying that.
My boys when they went to Germany for an exchange thing, they had currywurst, right?
Ooh.
I'd never had it. Have you guys experienced it?
No.
Really? So when they came home, they were like, "Oh, Mum, can you make currywurst?" And so she looked it up. Lads.
Yeah. Good stuff.
And it's one of these things you never think about it, and then when you think about it, or someone mentions it, you're like, "Oh God, I want that right now." That's just. Yeah. Okay,
Ooh,
cool.
I'll have to look for that.
Cool. Well, that's the podcast for this week. Chris, you got here in the end. Well played, mate. You were only a few minutes late. Traffic.
I try my best. Yes.
It's the way it is. That's life. It's tough these days. Just to, If I may be serious for a moment, we do appreciate your viewing. We do appreciate your patronage, literally. And you can go to patreon.com/GodIsAGeek to give us actual patronage. And also, if I may just get a little serious, is it all right if I be a bit serious, chaps? Are you going to be okay with that?
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to go into huge amounts of details, but hug your loved ones if you can. Okay? That's all I'll say. Time is so short for us all. Be good and look after one another. And on that note, just for once, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching this podcast. And I was going to not do the spiel, so I'm not going to. So Chris and Adam, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, sir.
And seriously, go hug your loved one. Whatever. Just pick up your phone, speak to your mum or your dad. Doesn't matter who. Just someone that is important to you and just remind them why they're important to you, because time's short on this earth, isn't it? Thank you very much for watching, and we will speak to you next week or whenever you choose to listen. Bye-bye for now.